Xbox, Hotmail, virtual reality, things like that. I've also worked in small startups, early stage. I've worked in late stage startups. So the unifying factor for me amongst all these things is basically they're all consumer products. And so I've built consumer products, launched them, built businesses based on that. And it's the consumer perspective that I'd sort of like to bring and add to this forum. So in terms of what people do when they're trying to build businesses based on consumer products, it's all about data. It's all about understanding a consumer and really crafting an experience that then goes and fulfills the wishes of the consumer and the deepest desires. So in early stage startups, you're looking at trends, you're looking at deep consumer research to really figure out what it is that you're trying to provide to the consumer. When you get to a later stage startup, it's all about scale. So you're really starting to get a lot more analytics, a lot more consumer data, and then using that to somehow go and accelerate your business. And when you're in mature companies, you have large amounts of consumer touch points. So now that I'm a digital media CEO, I can see that we have tens of millions of consumers who are giving us billions and trillions of data points every day. And so the success of our business and definitely the success of our strategy depends upon really leveraging this information and making it valuable back to consumers. And at HT, we pride ourselves on really being very strategy driven. Our strategy is very focused on what we've learned from our consumers, because essentially media is an ultimate consumer product. We are creating information and content, and consumers go by the trust that our brands represent, and they come to our platforms to have conversations with us in some cases. Jody talked about GDPR, and a lot of her talk was focused on compliance, but really stemming from the basic consumer concerns around why is it that my data is being collected? Why is it that my data is being consumed? A lot of consumers don't really fundamentally understand why it is that we're collecting all this information and what value it is providing for them. So we have of course a big challenge in front of us with implementing GDPR, but it's good to go back to why did. When I talked to us about the free flow of information and how it's key to innovation. So in order to unlock that free flow of information, we really need to go back and address what those base consumer concerns are, because otherwise innovation is under threat and might not progress as fast as we wanted to go. Rahul talked about systemic approaches. So we can't take piecemeal approaches. We have to really look at the system. That value chain has to both include our internal stakeholders. What are internal systems that we need to use to address consumer concerns? It also needs to include an outreach going back out. What are we doing? How do we communicate it? And then when we ended with Puneet, who really talked about bringing all back to our forum as marketeers. He talked about technologies such as artificial intelligence and chatbots, creating much more meaningful and deeper engagement with consumers and helping us understand how we can bring this value. So, when we think about this forum, when we think about all of the concerns we deal with, it really comes back to what is the core purpose of us as marketeers, which is to create value for our consumers, to create that value in conversation with our consumers. It becomes really important for us to help them understand the context behind why we are doing it or what value they're getting out of it. So with that perspective, I'd like to end this. Thank you for inviting me to this forum. It was really great, and thanks again, Vatsal.
All right, so that's about it. And informally, we have the room to ourselves. So in case you need to meet up with colleagues or talk amongst yourself, you're more than welcome. Some forcefully hold you all back, while Supriya or Shalu might, because they might want to give you all a message or two. So, but that's it. Thank you so very much for looking forward to meeting you more often. Thank you.